I'm 29, and I need to get this off my chest because I still can't believe how deeply I was played. I thought I was in love. I thought we were building a future. Turns out I was just part of someone else's escape fantasy. Her name was Natalie, and we'd been together for 3 years. 2 of them engaged. We lived in a cozy loft in Charleston, South Carolina, right near the harbor. We'd adopted a rescue greyhound named Winston, painted the kitchen ourselves, even planned our wedding for next spring at a vineyard outside Asheville. She'd picked out lace for her veil. I'd bought the ring, a vintage sapphire surrounded by tiny diamonds, because she said she hated the idea of blood diamonds and wanted something meaningful, not flashy. Then, on a rainy Tuesday in July, everything shattered. We were curled up on our leather sectional, the one we'd test sat in 5 different furniture stores before finally agreeing on. When she turned to me, eyes glassy, and said, "I don't think I'm ready for this, for marriage. I feel like I haven't even lived yet." I blinked. "What do you mean? You've been sending me Pinterest boards titled, 'Our First Home,' for months." She shrugged, avoiding my gaze. "I just need space to figure out who I am outside of us." I was stunned. We talked about kids, retirement, even where to scatter each other's ashes. But I didn't beg. I nodded, swallowed the lump in my throat, and said, "Okay, if that's what you need." She suggested we stay roommates until our lease ended in 6 months. "It'll be fine," she insisted. "We're adults. We can handle it." Famous last words. The next few weeks were surreal. She started coming home at 2 a.m., smelling like someone else's cologne, claiming she was networking at industry mixers. She worked in PR. She'd disappear for entire weekends, texting only to say she was visiting a friend in Savannah. But she never packed a bag, never mentioned names, and she still wore her engagement ring. Meanwhile, I was drowning. I threw myself into work, architectural design, and started going to therapy. One night, at a gallery opening for a friend, I met Elena. She's 31, Colombian, sharp as hell, and runs her own sustainable engineering firm. She made me laugh for the first time in months. When I told her about Natalie, she didn't flinch. "You're not broken," she said. "You're just healing." We took it slow. Coffee, walks with Winston, late-night talks about ethics in design and why HOAs are dystopian. Elena had her own trauma, family drama, legal battles, a restraining order, but she carried it with grace. And she never once made me feel guilty for still living with my ex. Natalie noticed. Of course she did. "You seem lighter," she said one morning, stirring her matcha. "I am," I replied. "That's good," she said, but her knuckles were white around her mug. Then came the birthday party. It was for our mutual friend Marco. Elena came with me. We held hands. We danced. We were happy. And then Natalie walked in. Her face went pale, then red, then something unreadable. She marched over, smiled like a politician, and introduced herself to Elena with chilling politeness. "So you're the rebound," she said later, once Elena was out of earshot. I didn't respond, but the next morning at 6 a.m., my phone exploded. "How could you do this to me? You were supposed to wait. I thought you loved me." I finally answered. "Natalie, you broke off our engagement. You said you needed space. I respected that. I didn't vanish. I moved forward. You've been seeing her for weeks. That's betrayal." "No," I said calmly. "That's adulthood." Here's where it gets dark. A week later, while cleaning out the shared iPad we used for Netflix, I saw it. Natalie's iMessages synced to my Apple ID. And there, in horrifying detail, were weeks of texts with Derek, my former college roommate, now married with twins. "Can't wait to see you tonight. He's working late again. Wish I could stay longer. But I have to be back before he gets home. Don't worry, he still thinks we're figuring things out." So clueless. Photos followed, of them, in our bed, while I was at work. But the kicker? Derek's wife had no idea. And Natalie had told him we had an open relationship, that I was seeing other people too. I screenshotted everything, saved it in a folder labeled HOA Docs. Ironic, given Elena's history. I didn't confront her. Not yet. Then, out of nowhere, Derek's wife, Priya, DM'd me on Instagram. I saw you used to be close with Derek. And you dated Natalie. I think something's going on. Please, if you know anything. My stomach dropped. I sent her the screenshots. The next day, Derek showed up at my door, frantic. Why did you tell her? You ruined everything. No, I said. You did. And Natalie lied to you. We were engaged. Not open. Not casual. Engaged. He paled. She told me you were cool with it, that you were dating someone else already. I laughed bitterly. Oh, I am now. But back then, I was planning our wedding. Natalie came home early that day. Saw Derek's car. Knew. When she walked in, I said flatly, Derek was here. She froze. Then, you had no right to tell Priya. That was my life. Your life? You were sleeping with a married man in the bed we bought together, while telling him I was okay with it. That's not self-discovery, Natalie. That's sociopathy. She burst into tears. Not of remorse, but rage. You're doing this to punish me. You don't even care about that girl. You're just using her to hurt me. Elena is nothing like you, I said. She's honest. She doesn't play games. That night, Natalie retaliated. She started bringing men home, different ones every night. Blasting music at 3 a.m., leaving condoms on the coffee table. Once, she walked into the living room in nothing but a towel while Elena and I were watching a movie. Oops, she smirked. Forgot you had company. But I'd been documenting everything. Photos, audio, legal in SC with one-party consent. Lease violations. Our roommate agreement, which she'd signed, clearly stated, overnight guests limited to 2 nights/week without written consent. She'd exceeded it 27 times in 6 weeks. I filed a formal complaint with the building. Cited hostile living environment and breach of lease terms. Submitted 52 pages of evidence. Management gave her 72 hours to respond. She lost it. You're trying to make me homeless. No, I said. I'm trying to live in peace. You chose chaos. Then she did the unthinkable. She stole my phone while I showered and texted Elena a fabricated confession. Claiming I'd cried over Natalie, begged her to take me back, and was only dating Elena to make her jealous. Elena called me immediately. I showed her my real texts, the documentation, the timeline. Her response? Your ex is unhinged. Want me to come over with wine? And a lawyer. She did. And when Natalie tried to play victim, Elena looked her dead in the eye and said, You don't miss him. You miss control. You thought you could ghost your fiancé, sleep with half of Charleston, and crawl back when you got bored. But he's not your backup plan. He's your lesson. Natalie fled, then returned with her brother and a U-Haul. But not before calling building management and accusing me of harassment. They investigated. She had no proof. I had 52 pages. Their verdict? Evict us both. Too much drama. 30 days to leave. No penalty, but we forfeited our $3,500 security deposit. I was furious, then relieved. That apartment was poisoned. Natalie spiraled. She posted on Instagram, homeless because my abusive ex weaponized the system. But our friends called her out. Screenshots of her texts with Derek surfaced. She deleted everything, then reposted, then vanished. Last I heard, she's living in her parents' guest house in Myrtle Beach. But the drama wasn't over. A month into my new life, in a quiet apartment downtown, with Elena by my side, I got a call from Natalie's mother. I saw what she posted, and what others said. I need the truth. I told her everything. She sighed. She's done this before. In college, she broke up with a boyfriend, moved in with him as friends, then dated his best friend behind his back. All while crying to me about how he was toxic. Then, last week, Natalie viewed my LinkedIn profile 9 times in one day, followed by an email. I'm in therapy. I've changed. Can we talk? Just coffee. I miss you. I forwarded it to Elena. She wrote back, the audacity. She's not sorry. She's bored. I blocked her. She called from her office line, left a voicemail. Blocking me proves you still love me. Elena's advice? File for a restraining order. And then last night, at a bar near my old firm, I ran into Derek. He looked wrecked. She told me Priya was controlling, that their marriage was dead, that I deserved better. He took a shaky breath. Turns out, she was juggling 5 of us. 5. While living with you. I went home and stared at old photos, her laughing on our balcony, feeding Winston, trying on wedding dresses. How did I miss it? Elena found me there. You're not mourning her, she said softly. You're mourning the person you thought she was. She's right. So, AITA for moving on after my fiancée said she wasn't ready, only to discover she was living a double life, lying to everyone, and expecting me to wait like a loyal dog while she played house with strangers?
Okay, let's break this down. No drama, just facts. She ended the engagement. She said she wasn't ready. He respected that. Then, while still living with him, she secretly dated other people, including a married man, and lied about their relationship to cover it up. Meanwhile, he waited, healed, and only started dating someone new after the breakup, and only after being honest about his situation. So now it's your turn. Do you think he's the asshole? Or is he totally in the right? No overthinking. Just go with your gut. Post your opinion down below.